Alright, WawsGaming here. This is part 12. We just rescued Aerith. If you're one of the 419 people that the algorithm is showing, welcome, and hope you like the Midnight Shift podcast. We're actually going to be changing a little bit. Instead of just doing a Let's Play, we're going to be talking a little bit more possibly about my personal life. Just kind of keep it more of a podcast type, so entertain. I'll be talking through all of my channels about what I've learned in my naval career, my fitness journey, and what my goals are, and what I have to handle as a manager, assistant manager, at a local pizza shop on the closing shift Monday through Thursday. Pretty much while the world is getting ready to sleep. Alright, let's keep going. See, the Turks are here. So, this is what we usually call a uh-oh moment, when you get surrounded suspiciously by people. This is a tense moment in real life, as you could imagine it, not imagine. We're going to get into the hero here, but while they're doing all of this, I want to talk a little bit, this is kind of like managing a pizza shop at night on a closing shift. You're getting ready to go home, and you get these customers, love them to death. They keep everything entertaining, to say the least. Sometimes it's infuriating when you're behind, but hey, what can you do, right? You gotta deal with letting your crew members go on time so that they can get some rest, and you also have to make sure that everything is set up for the morning crew so that they can continue to do their preps and they can continue to do whatever they need to do to get us moving. Unfortunately, this is a lot of the stuff that you deal with. There's always a lot of talking while you essentially are handcuffs, because you can't do anything other than listen to a customer. And, this is the first time we're joining into a podcast type, so excuse me if I'm bouncing down around a little bit. Quite honestly, this is also a mirror of what a military career does. It's a lot of meetings, standing around, listening to somebody talk, getting the mission brief, and then figuring out how to execute the requirements for the day, /week, /month, /upcoming deployment or mission. As you can see, the president likes to talk here. It's very much equivalent to real world meetings. Everybody always has everything to say and never wants to listen. Which is one of my pet peeves, by the way. Hopefully we can move on to the scene. Alright guys, this is where we're stuck in prison cells. Quite honestly, this feels like, how do I call it? Continuous shifts without breaks. You feel like you're locked in this essential cell of a busy schedule, especially when you're working 2 jobs. Not only that, I chose to start going to the gym. I actually have a sleeper build workout that I've been working on. Essentially want to drop from 213 current pounds to roughly 170-ish. Well, no specific reason. Quite honestly, grew up playing with Cloud as my character, so it's always been a dream, and now that I'm at a point in in life where I've kind of realized, life is short. You gotta enjoy it. Having a wife, 4 kids. Sometimes you gotta be able to find an avenue to escape reality, and I chose to make myself a sleeper build workout. Power is the discipline, the sleeper build, the discipline to encounter a sleepy build, hitting those heavy weights, low reps. Everything about you, your voice and everything. You go to the gym, all you gotta do is listen to music. So, not only do I get off at 10:30, I usually come home, play some Fortnite with my son, which, if you guys are interested in seeing the banter and the conversation between that, we usually post our videos when he's not dead exhausted. It's not consistent for the Fortnite just because we're still trying to get a decent schedule worked out while we're not both burning out and getting exhausted. Just trying to navigate 2 jobs, working out, trying to finish college myself. Increased debt for some stuff that happened with my insurance company in my house. So, the discipline is one of the things that I have learned through my journey in life. As much as people would probably hate it, fighting God was probably one of the things that has saved me. It gives you a purpose in life, but, we're not here to change people, just talking out loud and carrying through an amazing game. This is one of the games that I play every year. Wouldn't necessarily consider myself a professional, but I do consider myself well versed in the game, I should say. I'm gonna go ahead and have Character Cloud rest a little bit. Just check what we're doing on time. 8 minutes. Man, when you're talking. Alright, guys. So, see the door open. This in the military we consider a security breach, right? Guards are asleep, knocked out, dead, whatever the case may be. Means anything can happen. It's not a good position to be in if you're the guard, I will say that. Actually, kind of creepy in this game because of the music changing. But yeah, back to my fitness goals. Like I said, I always grew up looking up at the cloud. Not sure if you guys have ever played the remake or watched the Advent Children. That cloud just shows them with the sleep build. Just give me motivation to do everything that I need to do. Sounds like we're going to be using Aerith a lot here. Change some stuff before I forget. This is my healer after all. Just got my mage. She's already on the backside. Cool. But yeah, guys, you know, this is one of the most interesting portions of the game for me. Eerie sound, you get to experience some of the stuff that you wouldn't get to experience on any other time. Let's go ahead and save, but clearly the game has something else in store for me. You know, what I'm trying to make with all of this, right, is life is hard, we all learn things. I'm very appreciative of creating this YouTube channel. I'm still building it. I hope you guys stick around to help me build it. Look in the comments, of course. It's a little hard for me to open up a little bit, just because I've always been trained to carry out the mission, not really do much sidebarring other than troubleshooting or figuring out the next moves. So it's a little scary, excuse me. It's a little scary to sit here and just really randomly talk, but it gets easier as I do it. You know, this kind of brings back memories of, well, like I say, it doesn't bring back memories, but I should say it brings back like a habit from the military. You know, you find something that's essentially a security breach or something that doesn't sit well and you have to investigate. Well, this circumstance is a little different. They were captured and now there's essentially blood everywhere. But you can kind of relate. Yeah, something already goes wrong and then you have to deal with it. Also reminds me of like Calm Before the Storm, if that makes sense. While working my pizza job, normally we'll have a, I don't want to consider it a rush times, but we have rushes that happen. You know, dinner rush, lunch rush. You know, if there's games going on, delivery rushes, everything else. This music makes it almost like that. Calm Before the Storm with the rush happening soon. If that makes any sense, right? You got this dependent Duke feeling. Then you get to a position and it's like, holy crap. You know, you find some new information or you find some stuff and you realize that the computer systems are down, so you have to troubleshoot them, and then you realize that because the computer systems are down, orders were piling up behind the scenes without knowing it, which is going to lead me to my next thing. It's almost like a boss in an RPG, you know what I mean? You got this like big obstacle that you know you have to get through in order to continue the mission. And this game kind of relates to all of that, you know. It's got the build-ups, it's got the things that you know are coming, and there's nothing you could do about it. It's kind of like working at the pizza shop at night, you know. Usually slightly more manning the morning shop during a dinner rush, but then shortly after the dinner rush, usually you start losing a crew member or two, depending on how much you have, depending on the day of the week. Of course, we have more on Friday, Saturdays, and Sunday nights than we do the rest of the week. So I can always just relate, you know. I don't think we're gonna be fighting the next boss. I think we would be stopping after the Rufus encounter. You know, that brings another mysterious fact. A lot of facts, a lot of stories from military career. Some that I can kind of share, some I can't. You know, you always get this big old hype. You go, you train, you perfect, you mold as a team so that you can have cohesion. Sometimes you have people transferring, sometimes you have people that are coming in the middle of it. You know, you have to adjust, overcome. It's a lot like this. Sometimes as a solo person, you have to make up a decision to incorporate people or move on. Game kind of does that, especially in kind of scenes. So that I could save, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and remove it. Give me a second while I rearrange my Syria. Set up. So if you can't gather, right? I mean, we can all kind of put two and two together. Usually when a game tells you, hey man, you might want to check everything, right? You want to inventory everything. Usually you have something like this coming on. It's usually a boss fight. Wonderful boss fight. It's probably one of the most annoyingest boss fights in the portion of the game. The only reason I say that is, yeah, you're not used to playing with these characters, right? Which is funny, because as you start going to the gym, right, you're not used to dealing with something else. You have to adjust, overcome. Seems like a major feat. Okay, hello. But thankfully, as a vet of 18 years so far, I'll be hitting 20 in August of 2027. You know, one thing I've learned between that and my manager precision is struggle, adapt, overcome, figure out the best solution. You know, and just carry on the mission. You can complain a little. There's nothing wrong with complaining a little. By what I mean by complaining a little is, you know, you get the frustration out a little bit, right? Oh man, this sucks. But you carry on, bring up your team, right? Whether you have A team, B team, C team, whatever it is. Alright, I have to concentrate on this game because Eris is about to die here. Got a little too wrapped up in talking. You know, like I said, you gotta defend the crew and you gotta fight the distraction, which is this boss, while attempting to finish your mission, which is making pizzas and get them out the door within a certain time. Right? We have 20-minute pickups and 45-minute deliveries. The point is to stay on those times and not get delayed. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and that's okay. At that point, you gotta kind of backtrack a little bit, figure out what it is that is causing the mission to stagger slightly. Right? Same thing with military. We have to figure out what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what our group strengths and weaknesses are for each individual. is always to bring up what we consider the weakest link. Most people hate to be called a weakest link. It's not like we're calling you a weak. What we're saying is you're probably not up to par with some other people. And that's okay. Not everybody learns the same pace. Not everybody learns the skills and techniques. Some people get thrown into a position that it's not what they really truly want. And again, like I said, that's okay. What usually that means you're the considered weakest link for that specific set of the taskers, weekly, whatever it is, right? You can't control chaos, you can only control your reactions to it, right? In the world of food, chaos is terrible. That's usually when you're making your mistakes. Controlling the chaos is impossible. If you try to control the chaos, you're targeting things that are causing chaos, which means you are losing track of something else, which usually leads to more chaos, more frustrations, and that's how you tear down a group, right? That's how you break cohesiveness. That's how you have people quit on you. So this is probably one of the more iconic scenes. I want to make sure I take restore. Yeah, sure, we can take sense. Now that we're gonna need poison. Definitely need that's everything. I don't think there's any skills that we can learn. Alright. I think we're good. I guess this is where I get a little bit deeper, right? This first time the sleeper build has been mentioned out loud. I've been keeping that slightly secret. Listen, I will say that if you're struggling with some silence, some isolation in your own life, you feel like you're alone, I get it, right? I hear you. That's what we typically do as humans, especially for dads. We kind of withdraw. I struggle with it. Sometimes I don't talk to my family because the grind is heavy, right? I get focused on what I need to take care of. I get too entrapped in the what, when, where, why, right? And that's okay. That's really okay. What I will say that it's helping me a lot is just the mere fact of you have a mic. And mic is a way of opening up. If you like the raw and con vibe, hit that subscribe button. We got 1,800 games that we're going to be going through. Right, over the course of many years. This is not a one-time thing. This is a way for me to escape reality. Right, like I said. So, you're here. You like what you hear. You like the walkthrough. You like the let's play. Absolutely subscribe. Hit that like button at the bare minimum. You know, let's get the algorithm going and see if there's other people with the same issues, same scares. It's all about making each other better. Right? You guys are awesome. You guys listen. I know that it seems like a one-way because it's the one-way for right now. That's okay. Leave your comments. We can build upon it. We can talk about it. Rufus is permanent levels. Most annoyingest phases. Mainly because this dog causes barrier and I have to use magic. Actually, beat it. So, no. We're gonna be finishing here very shortly. To get out of here without causing random events to happen. But this is the closing shift. It's a midnight shift podcast. This will be happening quite often. I aim for daily. If I miss one, I'm sorry. I will make it up for it. I promise. But like I said, if you're struggling, silence, isolation, hear ya. Barely talk to my family again. Want to emphasize, mic is up. It's my way of opening up. If you like the raw cut, hope to see you guys soon. We will be ending it here. WawsGaming going out. Have a good night, YouTube.